Okay, so before we get this video underway, because this is a Red Wings discussion over here, we gotta talk about Jared McIsaac, man. This guy, I've said it, the past calendar year, he has been the unluckiest prospect in the Red Wings system, and it's not even close. He had a boatload of time in 2019-20 taken away from him due to injuries to his shoulder. He had even more time taken away in 2020-2021 because of the same problems on opposite shoulders. He had separate shoulder surgeries on both of his shoulders in the past 2 years. It has been such an unfortunate path for Jared McIsaac in his entire prospect career so far with the Red Wings, and it was made even worse when yesterday he got hit and it was a boarding call. He was down, motionless, and eventually was taken out. Here's the update from the Detroit Red Wings and what happened in the game yesterday against the Blue Jackets prospects. Jared McIsaac lost consciousness after a hit into the boards during the first period of tonight's game against the Blue Jackets, but this was a little bit later, is now awake and alert and has failings in all of his extremities. As a precautionary measure, he was transported to a local hospital for further observation, and we're still kind of waiting for any updates over here. They actually had to end the period early, and they added the extra 2 minutes and whatever to the second period starting time. So the Red Wings, the Blue Jackets going out there making sure that McIsaac is able to go about things properly in the recovery process with the stretcher and all that. Either way, though, super unfortunate, but that is not really what we're talking about here today. Let's go over the prospect that we decided to make this 1 year later video about. We kind of hinted it in a previous video, but it is Lucas Raymond, 4th overall by the Detroit Red Wings at the 2020 NHL Entry Draft. What this series does is we talk about this prospect in the context of where they were a year ago, and we discuss, since that year has passed, where things have gone from there. Lucas Raymond is probably one of the most, let's just say, optimistic of the bunch when it comes to the 1 year later crew. Lafreniere is kind of a difficult one because he didn't really have the best season. Quinton Byfield didn't crack the league right away, and he didn't produce when he was in the league, so a lot of people kind of have him in a more negative light than you would probably do so if you just watch the guy play. Jack Quinn is a difficult one because he was kind of a weird pick off the board to begin with. Lucas Raymond is none of that. Lucas Raymond, 4th overall, as we said, by Detroit, is probably one of the most upwardly trending guys in the Red Wings system, and it's not even really close. Lucas Raymond, if we take a look at the profile here, 5'10", 183, he is a 19-year-old right-wing player who plays center as well. 1 year ago, heading into the 2020 NHL Entry Draft, he had himself 14 points in 9 games played for Frölunda's Junior 20 team in the Junior 20 Super Elite. He was good enough to actually get called up to the regular Frölunda team, where in 33 games played, he had 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists. Sure, the production isn't fantastic, but again, top pro men's league, he's a guy who's 17 turning 18 years old. He had nothing to scoff at when it comes to his performance there. He kind of showcased the best of his abilities because even though he was a junior player, he really just kind of played like he belonged for Frölunda in the SHL. His awareness, his skills, his skating ability, the way he processes the game and moves around the ice, they were all at such a high level, especially for a teenager in a pro men's league, that there was so much hype going around about Lucas Raymond in this draft. We kind of had the similarities done to Mitch Marner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You kind of know how Marner has that solidified playmaking, two-way capable penalty-killing kind of style. You can have him on your top power play and penalty-killing units because he's just so good at processing the game and moving around the ice. Lucas Raymond kind of had that similar profile to him, and it's why ever since 2019, 2018 even, he was touted as a top 2020 prospect. He was so gosh darn good that he even played for the World Junior team. That's a U20 tournament right there. He was 17 turning 18 and he had 4 points in 7 games played. He was drafted 4th overall, despite the fact that you take a look at some of the rankings over here. Some people had him as low as 9th overall. TSN and Craig Button had him over there. TSN and Bob McKenzie had him at 6. ISS had him at 5. There were some outlets, though, like McKean's and Future Considerations, that indeed had him at 4. There were also some arguments that people were making as to whether or not Raymond could go as high as 3rd overall. Yeah, those were videos we made back when discussing the Ottawa Senators and what exactly was the plan that they had. Some people were saying, oh, the Sens have 3rd and 5th. They could actually get themselves Lucas Raymond and Alexander Holtz, the two Swedish guys that were available at the top of the draft. That could have been really cool, especially with the fact that Raymond is probably smart enough to process the game as a center as well. So if you really wanted to go that center-winger combo like you did with Tim Stützle, Raymond kind of fulfills that too. It's just he didn't really have the same level of hype as Stützle did, because some people were saying Stützle could have gone first overall. That was something that we talked about as well. The 2020 draft was kind of insane, wasn't it? Either way, though, Lucas Raymond was selected by the Red Wings, and there were so many Red Wings fans that were super happy with the pick, for good reason, too. We talked about his entire draft profile. Hey, guess what he did in 2020-2021? 18 points, 34 games played, a lot better of a points per game in 1 year's worth of improvement, and he was a point per game for Team Sweden at the World Juniors as well. You kind of saw what was the transitioning for a Frölunda hockey team that was starting to capture the attention of a lot of Red Wings fans. Not only because of Lucas Raymond, but because they had themselves a lot of other guys that were getting considerable playing time and who happened to be prospects in the Red Wings system. The big tree of Elmer Soderblom. Theodor Niederbach was a guy over here too. You had Simon Edvinsson suiting up for this team, even though in this year he wasn't drafted yet. But he was still a guy that a lot of people kind of had their eyes on because, I mean, a lot of Red Wings fans are like, yeah, Raymond, Niederbach, Soderblom, they have their eyes on Edvinsson. It has to be that way because they're looking at their own talent, of course. Why would they not do some external scouting for the other guy there when they're already looking at these games? Raymond was out there on a Frölunda team that was still actually going out there and doing pretty well. They actually improved on their previous season's performance, and he really showcased himself off as a really good middle six guy, despite the fact that he was only 18 years old. And so now you take a look at the rookie tournament that we had in Traverse City. Yeah, by the way, guys, I got it. It's not traverse, like the verb to walk backwards. It's traverse. There you go. I think I'm saying it right? If I'm not saying it, then please comment in the comment section below if I'm not saying it correctly. Traverse City, Michigan. That's what we have over here. You had Lucas Raymond scoring goals like crazy and playing the right side of the power play. This guy went out there against prospects in his own age range and showed that he had been playing against men the past 2 seasons. He was so mature, so poised with the puck. He never really panicked, and he really showcased his skills off to the best ability. It was really interesting to me seeing him actually suit up on the right side of the power play instead of the left. He is a right-handed shot, and you don't usually see power plays at the NHL level where you have forwards playing on their strong-handed sides. You usually see right-handed guys on the left side, it's their off wing, so they can get the one-timers off. They didn't really have that kind of vibe going for Raymond. They didn't want him to do one-timers, hammering it in the back of the net, Ovechkin style. They wanted Raymond to receive the passes on his strong side and hold on to the puck. Dangle around guys if he needed to. Circle around guys if he needed to. Use his vision to see if the front of the net is open, get a shot off, or if there's a backdoor pass available too. He was controlling all of the power play shifts that he was going out there and playing on, and it was so great watching Raymond and how he was able to maneuver around the ice with the puck. Now, he only played 2 games. He didn't play the last game yesterday against the Blue Jackets, kind of because, I mean, the Red Wings kind of saw it. They were like, yeah, he's good. Like, he is good enough. There is no reason to go out there and play Raymond anymore because we have already established just how dominant he has been at this tournament. And, I mean, the Red Wings kind of got destroyed yesterday because Igor Chinakhov, my goodness, that guy is fantastic. But it's not like this really matters anyway. It's a prospect tournament. Come on, you don't really need to win all these games anyway. It's just kind of for demonstrative purposes, I guess. But Lucas Raymond was out there as definitely the most NHL-ready player on the Red Wings lineup, and I guess that's not really saying much because all these guys are prospects coming out of, junior camp, and some of these guys are tryouts that aren't even drafted by the team. They're just kind of there because they want a job. But Raymond was the best player for the Red Wings. He also had some pretty good performances too. Kirill Chuchiev was great. Chase Pearson had some points. You had yourselves, of course, Joe Veleno, who was over there. My goodness, why the heck was he even playing here? But for Lucas Raymond, you saw it out there on the ice. He was a force. He kind of controlled the play like Marner, Like, I don't want to make it seem like Raymond is the next Marner, but I mean, they were both drafted 4th overall. They're both right-handed players who could play center. They're both really strong-minded forwards who think the game well, except for Marner when he's throwing the puck over the glass in his own end. But I don't want to get my hopes up too high just yet, you know? Lucas Raymond is an NHL prospect for the Red Wings that I think was a fantastic pickup when they got him at 4th overall a year ago. Today, he is still a fantastic pickup. The sky is the limit here for Raymond. Talk to me in the comments what you thought about his performance at the Prospect Showcase in Traverse City, what you thought about his profile when they drafted him, where do you think he is going from here. I hope you enjoyed this video, Trolls 99, and bye.